College. The first thing that comes to mind is wild parties, drugs, or sex. Thanks to the entertainment industry, the world's misconstrued image of college is nowhere close to how it really is. This series is here to help reveal the challenges college kids face when you have to factor in anxiety, stress, and the uncertainty of choosing the perfect major. On this journey, I hope to shed light on the reality behind college. Carol.
Or Cairo.
When you were a kid, what do you want to be?
I didn't know what I wanted to be exactly. I just know that all I can remember is that I would sing all the time, everywhere, from the minute I got up to the minute I went to sleep.
What was your favorite song you used to sing?
I would sing a lot of Cheetah Girls. I love Cheetah Girls, so I would sing a lot of Cheetah Girls songs. I loved Beyonce, I loved the Jonas Brothers. Basically, any song that was singable, I would sing it.
So going to college, you already knew you wanted to be a singer.
Not necessarily. My mom never really supported my singing. My sister is a singer and she went to school for singing all of her life, and my mom was really supportive of her through that. But through that experience, she also saw how challenging it is to be successful as a musician. And so when I started to express my wanting to be a singer, she wasn't really encouraging because she didn't want me to go through all of that, and she was really scared of me failing. So instead, she had me pursue a path of science. And for a long time, I believed that I had convinced myself that I wanted to do science too, just because my mom would, push me in that direction. So I went to a high school specialized in science, and I spent more time practicing for talent shows and open mics and theater shows than studying for my exams. And so my heart wasn't in the science; it was more in the music. And also applying to colleges, I applied to Penn State for the forensic science program, and for the first year and a half, I was a forensic science major, and my GPA was terrible. I hated all of my classes. I wasn't passionate about anything. I failed chemistry 3 times. My heart wasn't in it, so I wasn't doing well. And 2 semesters ago, I realized that I needed to switch because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life not enjoying myself the way I wasn't enjoying college. And I knew that if I continued in the science path, then I'd probably end up in a career that has to do with science, and I wouldn't be happy. And that's not my personality at all. I'm a very bright person. I'm very outgoing and very vocal and artistic and creative, and that science path just wasn't meant for me. So I met with my advisor, who actually was my jazz teacher. I took an evolution of jazz class that changed everything for me. And I met with him and I told him that I wanted to switch to music. And so he told me about this campus and about the integrative arts program here, and here I am.
So trying to please your parents, you went down the science field, and you knew.
Yeah, emotionally hated it, and the tests, grades, and the GPA showed everything, and my mom was really upset, but I just wasn't invested in it, so I didn't care about the subject, so I didn't do well in it.
And when you switched your major to communications or integrated arts, how did your parents react to that?
My mom was very, very scared, and she's still very, very scared. It was like a red light came on in her head, and she just panicked, and she has made me panic. And every couple days, or every couple weeks, we're on the phone, and she's like, "Are you sure you want to be doing this? Are you really sure?" And I was like, "Mom, I'm already a junior. It's already I'm way too deep in." But yeah, she was really scared, and she just kept warning me, and she's saying I know this is what you love, but this path is really hard. Are you sure you want to try to do this? And my answer to everything was yes, because this is what I love, and no matter how hard the path is, I know that my heart is in this, so I'm gonna give it more of my all than I did with science.
Are they starting to support your decision?
Yeah, last semester I was in a vaudeville show that we had here at Penn State Altoona, and my mom surprised me from New York, and she came to the show, and she said she wouldn't miss it for the world. And that night I was expecting her to be very critical of me, and I asked her what she thought of the show, and she said that she could definitely see me doing musical theater for the rest of my life, and that I looked really natural on stage, and that I did everything well, and there wasn't one thing that she could say that was negative about it. So that meant so much, because for a long time I always feared involving her with anything I was doing musically, because I thought that would just spark up her telling me that this is not something I should be doing.
And you thought you wouldn't get her approval if
Yeah.
you did it before?
Yeah, yeah. I'm still scared. I'm still scared, and she's scared. We're all scared, but she knows that this is what I love. And my mom sings too, and she wasn't able to pursue her music because of the same thing. Her parents didn't approve, so she went on and did economics in college in Peru. So she has a bachelor's in economics, but she loves to sing. And so it's kind of like a cycle. So now she's supporting me because she wasn't supported herself.
Mm-hmm. So what are your passions?
Other than singing, I really love the world of makeup. Mm-hmm. And I've been in that world since I think my second year of high school, and I've just been trying to get better and express myself and, express myself through makeup.
The world of makeup, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm active on a lot of social networks. I have, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and a lot of my followers on those social networking platforms follow me because of my makeup looks. And I also do Snapchat makeup tutorials pretty much every single time I do my makeup. And I have found that hundreds and thousands of people really enjoy watching me do my makeup, and I try to explain every single step, and I try to make it beginner friendly. And on Twitter I have a pretty big following as well, and a lot of people come to my page because of my makeup looks. And my YouTube as well, I have a YouTube channel where I do makeup videos, and that is a world that I would also like to explore after graduating, because there's so much that you can do. Nowadays, you can make a career out of just making YouTube videos because you become a partner and they start paying you to make videos, they pay you for likes, they pay you to place products in your videos. And so that's definitely something I'd be interested in, since the feedback that I've gotten from people all over the world is so positive regarding my makeup. And yeah, that's definitely something that I want to pursue full time after college.
How do you balance the world of makeup and school? Do they conflict one another, or?
Yeah, they do conflict sometimes. Well, when I wake up, right before I do my makeup, I start my Snapchat tutorials. So I usually Snapchat myself doing my makeup before I go off to class. Sometimes they do conflict. Sometimes my makeup runs into class time, so I kind of skip some classes sometimes. But I try to balance the two. But yeah, during breaks or in between classes, I answer my Snapchats. I have a lot of people who Snapchat me questions and Snapchat me for advice. I answer my Twitter mentions and my Instagram, and at night I put my Instagram posts of my makeup, and then I link my Snapchat to that so that my Insta followers can go on my Snapchat. And so I'm just really trying to amp up my number of followers on all of my social networking sites, because at the end of the day, these are people who support you, and the more supporters you have, the better, especially trying to make it in the music industry. I Snapchat my makeup tutorials, and sometimes I also sing on there. And whenever I sing on my Snapchat, people that didn't even know I could sing, compliment me, and they tell me that they want to support me, and they tell me that they would buy, a song and would put it out on iTunes. And so I think that just building up my following on all these social networking websites is very beneficial to me, because basically all that I'm about is art and entertainment, and for that you need to have an audience, you need to have support, you need to have people that will be willing to, buy your products or support you in this or that. Right?
And with you recording videos on Snapchat, Twitter, and YouTube, you're building more exposure for yourself.
Right.
So when you do graduate,
yeah, I already have kind of like a nice ball going, and I have found that people, like, they follow me on Twitter, they're like, hey, I just found you on the Explore page on Instagram, and I followed your makeup. And then I went to your page, and on your page I saw that you had posted that you tweeted makeup tips. So I came to your Twitter, and then on your Twitter I saw that you make Snapchat makeup tutorials, so I just followed you on Snapchat. And it's a huge link, and the internet is so amazing for that. And I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that the internet has given me. And so, yeah, all these people, they come from everywhere. And some people are like, hey, I just ran into you on YouTube because you're one of the suggested videos. So I think that the more product, the more of yourself that you put out on the internet, the more likely somebody's going to run into you. And if you make sure to link all of your websites everywhere, and you make sure to properly promote yourself and tell people, not just be like, hey, I do makeup, but hey, I do makeup, I sing, this is my Twitter, this is my Instagram. And I really try to build that one-on-one connection with people. Like, I accept everybody back on Snapchat that adds me because I want them to be able to ask me questions. And a lot of people have found that that's one of the things that they love the most and that differentiates me from other people, other YouTube gurus, is that personal touch that I have with them. I answer every tweet I get, every direct message, every Snapchat, and I try to help every single person, even if I don't know who they are, what they look like, where they're from in the world. I try to help them like if they were my friends. So they come to me and they ask, hey, what are some foundations that you recommend? This is my skin type, this is my skin color, this is what I want. I have girls message me, hey, this is my dress for prom, what kind of makeup can I do with this? And so I try to really have that one-on-one connection with everybody because that really allows them to see the person that I am, and them like having that really close relationship with your supporters, I think is really important because they're your supporters and you need them. And they're the people that are going to elevate your career in all aspects, whether it's makeup or music or singing, acting, theater, all that stuff.
So with all this support and the opportunities that you have, do it kind of make the stress like go down a little bit?
Yeah, I'm one of the things that make me calm down a little bit about being in an art major and an entertainment, based major is knowing that I already have the kind of platform. I'm not starting from zero. Even like from the time I graduate, from that moment on, I know I'll also have my followers on Snapchat. I also have people on YouTube who support me. And it makes me feel like I have a safety net because my followers are just growing. And so knowing that I have them even after I leave college is really, it's really calming, and it's really, it feels like a warm hug knowing that they're there for me afterwards and that I'm not just, falling into, a hole where I don't know where I'm going, I don't have any direction. So, yeah.
After college, what do you plan to do?
Well, last semester being in the theater show, it really made me fall in love with being on a stage. And not just on a stage where I'm just singing as myself, but on a stage where I'm acting and I'm performing for an audience as a different character. And I really fell in love with musical theater. And so now I'm seeing Broadway as a potential, dream. And I would love to be part of that musical theater world. If not that, anything that allows me to be creative and express myself musically, and I just want to have the space to be an artist and be a musician and express myself, whether it's through makeup or singing or acting or, anything like that.
Your journey through college, is it anything like the movies or the media portray it to be?
Some parts of it were. As a freshman, I partied a lot, and a lot of the parties had like the red Solo cups and like beer pong. I played my first game of beer pong here at college. But for the most part, it's definitely not as glamorous as they make it seem. It's a lot of long nights, it's a lot of studying, it's a lot of stress over failed exams, and it's a lot of anxiety. And I feel like what movies don't portray is that in college, a lot of us are still very unsure of what we want to do. And so it's kind of like a weird transition period because you go to high school and you're just going to your classes and they're general classes. And in college, it's like, damn, I really have to get my shit together. And I have to really figure out what to do because I'm paying a lot for this. And 4 years are going to a dedicated subject. So you need to figure out what to do. And it's kind of like the clock is ticking. And a lot of the stress that a lot of college students have is, what am I going to, like the day after I graduate, what am I going to do? Where am I going to work? There's not a step after college that we just naturally go through because we go through elementary school and middle school. And when we're in high school, we know that the second we graduate high school, it's just summer break and then you go into college because that plan is set out for you. But it's like after college, you're free and you make of your life what you want to make out of it. And that's really scary for a lot of us. So I think that movies don't really portray that fear that a lot of us have. And it's much more intense when you're living in it, and it's definitely not only about the parties. It's like parties are fun and getting, to meet new friends is fun and having new experiences is fun, but it's also a lot of hard work.
You personally, do stress affect you a lot?
Yeah, I'm always stressed out. I'm always anxious about something. Even now, like as a music major, I still stressed out a lot about what am I going to do after I graduate? Where am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Am I going to fit in? Where am I going to live? Am I going to be able to make a living out of this? When I want a family, 10 years from now, am I going to be able to support my family just on my musical skills? And so it's really stressful, but I know that in the classes that I have, my music classes, I'm so passionate about what I'm learning, and I enjoy those classes so much. I know that I'm in the right place because I didn't feel like that in any of my science classes as a freshman or in any of my high school. I was constantly looking at the clock, just wanting it to end, not even doing the work, not caring about anything. And now it's like, I love meeting with my teachers outside of the classroom. I love asking for extra work. I love all of my classes. I love learning. I love asking questions. And I love telling everybody what I learned after my classes because it's fun and it's exciting and it's what I love.
Are you happy that you're in those classes?
Yeah. And so in those moments where I'm in rehearsals, in class, in my vocal lessons, I feel like this is 100% what I'm meant to be doing, so there's no stress at all. But once you're out and then you kind of realize yeah, I love to sing and I'm good at singing and I'm having a great education in a wonderful school, but how many other people are having great educations in wonderful schools? There are people in Juilliard, having an amazing education. There are people that have had so many years of experience that have been, in musical theater programs from the time they could speak. And so it's a lot of, it's like a big competition, it's a big race, and we all want to make it, and a lot of us won't. So I'm just hoping that I can find my little place somewhere where I can add my personal ideas and, express myself and be around like-minded, creative individuals like myself.
Do you think the fear or anxiety will ever go away? Because communications is like the most competitive field there is. Everybody wants to be a star. Yeah. Everybody wants to make it. Do you think over time anxiety or fear will go down because you got to believe in yourself?
I think the nature of trying to be an entertainer is one that doesn't really allow you to sleep on yourself. You have to constantly be on your feet, you have to constantly be networking, you have to constantly be reinventing yourself. You have to build your audience and you have to, build up your platform and you have to connect with people. And I've seen so many, entertainers, they have their one big break and then they die down. And so there's so much uncertainty when it comes to having a stable career. Because as entertainers, you have a gig. You have a gig every now and then. Maybe you're working for a TV show, but that TV show is not going to run forever. And, it's constantly little flare-ups of success. And in order to continue that motion, you have to work really hard and you have to maintain good connections with people, and you have to be really good at what you do because there's always somebody that's better than you. There's always somebody that can perform better than you, has more experience than you. There's always somebody who has more connections than you. So you always have to be, on your feet working for yourself.
Do you have any advice for any college students?
I would say to really stay true to yourself. College is a time where you really mold the person that you are and you experience so many new things and all these experiences shape you. And I would say really think for yourself and don't think through the lens of your family members. Don't think through the lens of people that are trying to sway you to go one way, because at the end of the day, this is your life and you're creating your life and you are the person who wakes up with yourself, you go to sleep with yourself, you go through all these motions and you want to make sure that you're doing something that makes you happy. And I had that realization late into the game, and so that's what made me, switch from science to music. But I feel free, and I feel supported, and I feel like I'm in the right place. And yeah, it is scary, but I know that my heart is so in love with everything that I'm doing. And I'm so in love with all of my classes, and it feels right when you're doing what you love. And it's hard to pursue what you love sometimes because of the uncertainty that comes with it sometimes, but when I'm leaving class and I'm walking to the caf, when I'm by myself in my room, I know that this is, me. I'm doing this for me.
You made a great choice.
Yeah, and it feels really good. So I would say, think for yourself, and I feel like everybody really knows the answer inside of themselves. Everybody really knows what they love, and everybody knows, what they're meant to be doing. And there are all these inhibitions and all these fears that we all have because of society and what it tells us to do. Because society tells you that no, you won't succeed if you don't pursue math or science. And family members that tell you that you won't succeed if you don't do math or science. But you just have to strip yourself away from all your fears and pursue what you want, because this is your life. You got to make yourself happy. You only have one life, so you might as well be doing something that you love throughout it.
And you're the only one living it.
Exactly.
So that's all the time we have today. Thank you for tuning in to Carol's story, and I hope you watch our next episode.
Within, and I've been there before, but that life's support so full of the superficial, and some people want